This segment is sponsored by Legacy Tax. An estimated 20 million Americans owe back taxes to the IRS and are unable to pay in full. But there is hope. The IRS has temporary programs in place to help qualifying individuals pay the taxes that they owe. And so to get the full scoop, I turn to Corey Hankerson of Legacy Tax. Corey, how does the Fresh Start program address tax liens?
Sure. Well, if you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS and you don't pay your taxes on time, the IRS might file a tax lien against you on your property, which allows the government to secure its interest in your property. The lien can prevent you from selling or even from refinancing your property if you wanted to do that. Now, it allows you to remove or have those liens withdrawn with a much more streamlined and easier process. It used to be that those liens would stay around for a long time, but now they can be withdrawn much more quickly under the Fresh Start program.
Okay, does the IRS charge interest and penalties in addition to tax debt?
Unfortunately, yes. If you don't file or pay on time, the IRS will tack on massive penalties and interest, as well as interest on the penalties, which can sort of balloon the debt into a level that becomes unmanageable for a lot of taxpayers. The penalties can be as high as 40% of what you actually owe. Now, if you qualify, there is real penalty relief under the Fresh Start initiative.
All right, so we've dealt with the interest and we've dealt with the penalties. How do we deal with the tax debt if there's any left?
Sure. So it's typically going to be some sort of payment plan or installment agreement. Those are the most popular tax relief measures under the Fresh Start program. And if you can't afford to pay what you owe all at once, the payment plans under the Fresh Start program are much more lenient now than they were before. Just one example, for those that owe under $50,000 under the Fresh Start program, you can get into a payment plan that allows you to repay the debt that you owe without having to provide any bank statements or pay stubs to document your inability to repay. It used to be that you had to provide a whole lot of documentation and the IRS really got up in your business. But now it's a little bit more lenient under the Fresh Start program. There are also programs in place that allow you to repay some of the debt, but not necessarily pay all of it.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is there, what can people do to pay some, but not necessarily, like, pay less than what they owe?
Absolutely. So it's called an offer in compromise, also known as the tax settlement. Now, this is the one that everybody talks about. If the amount of your tax debt is so high that you can't afford to repay it, you don't have enough income, you don't have enough assets, then you can negotiate a settlement with the IRS to reduce or completely eliminate the debt. Now, the offer in compromise has been around for years. It's not really a new thing, but the Fresh Start program has streamlined the process and made it accessible to a larger number of people.
So how do people know if they qualify for the Fresh Start program?
Awesome question. So there are a lot of misconceptions out there about the Fresh Start program as well as the offer in compromise. Some people think that you can just offer to settle for any amount you want, right? And then some people think that you have to be completely destitute in order to qualify. The truth is that neither one of those are really the case, right? We've helped clients that make multiple six figures be able to settle what they owe for less than the full amount. And then we've helped clients who have literally no income and no assets whatsoever to also be able to settle what they owe. The sweet spot is somewhere in the middle, right? And fortunately, our firm has been able to help thousands of residents, thousands of taxpayers, that is, to be able to qualify under the Fresh Start and receive that relief from the stress and the anxiety and frustration that comes along with owing the IRS.
We don't like to owe anything to the IRS if we don't have to, Corey, but we appreciate you always looking out for us and helping us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
For more information, you can reach out to Corey Hankerson and Legacy Tax by dialing 1-877-538-9546 or contact them online at levyking.com.